But we start with this. President Trump is back at the White House after attending Super Bowl 59 last night and says that more new tariffs will be announced today. This time, he's imposing tariffs on 25% of all steel and aluminum imports coming into the United States. A new CBS News poll shows 53% of those polled approve of the job the president is doing in office so far. When it comes to tariffs, those polled were in favor of the president imposing them against China, but did not like that he's imposing them on Europe, Canada, and Mexico. So let's bring in CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro to talk more about this. Aaron, how are our trading partners reacting to this announcement from the president?
Nothing immediately, but we already have seen Canada and Mexico show that they're willing to respond with threats of retaliatory tariffs when Trump brought this up earlier during his tenure. They eventually, of course, found an agreement regarding immigration and kind of negotiated with him there for a temporary pause in those tariffs. But specifically in Canada, we could see more this Friday when there is an economic summit in Toronto where Justin Trudeau will meet with business and labor leaders. Just noting on these tariffs, past presidents have had steel tariffs before, including George W. Bush. But this could really impact home building and auto industries here in the U.S. So certainly something to watch.
And certainly, as you point out, Aaron, some of these tariffs were already in place under the previous Trump administration. He imposed them. President Biden didn't remove them. So do we know if these tariffs are going to go on top of the existing ones or what?
Well, we know that this is broadly part of Trump's aggression when it comes to foreign policy and the economy, trying to send a message to China. Of course, as you brought up in the poll, it's not something that's necessarily a priority for American voters. The understanding is that this does go on top of those tariffs, but we'll see once we get the details of that later today.
The other news is a federal judge in Boston who weighed in on whether the Trump administration can move forward with its plans to buy out thousands of federal employees. There's another ruling expected. What are the unions saying about this? And what are we hearing from Trump administration officials?
The president of the American Federation of Government Employees said they are pleased with a temporary pause. So they continue to believe that this program violates the law. They kind of view this as one of the many inflection points for Trump's efforts to revamp the federal workforce early in his second term. The Trump administration and the Office of Personnel Management says that this deadline of 11:59 p.m. tonight stands, and that's what they're telling federal government workers. But certainly there's a lot of confusion, especially since there's of 65,000 or more that have already accepted this buyout. Questions about whether that will stand. Hopefully, they're looking to get clarity from the judge's ruling later today.
And finally, Aaron, as you know, the Trump administration ordered the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to stop most of its work. This is an organization that has protected millions of Americans from unsavory business practices, whether the credit card companies or the banks with excessive fees. So why is this a target for the White House?
Yeah, this program was created under former President Obama's tenure as part of the Dodd-Frank Act. Senator Elizabeth Warren, the foil for Trump and many Republicans, was crucial to its creation. And it's been long criticized by conservatives as overreaching. As you brought up some of what the agency does, they have oversight over banks, mortgage originators. The general thought is that the functions of CFPB could be folded into the Department of Treasury per Trump officials. We'll wait to see if that actually takes place they wanted in the way that they wanted to. We're already seeing some core challenges to this effort.
Aaron, you may be too young to remember the old saying, a penny for your thoughts, but it sounds like even your thoughts are going to go up in price. They're going to get more expensive. What's going on with the pennies at the Mint?
Yeah, I do remember this being in the West Wing episode. Trump yesterday noted that it costs actually more to make the penny than what it's worth, but it is unclear if he does have the authority, as it is up to Congress that authorizes the manufacturing of coins. It does cost, according to the U.S. Mint, 3.69 cents to produce and distribute pennies. So certainly as Trump is trying to cut down government spending, the penny is one way he's looking at it.
I guess we'll never realize the savings that we have when we see something that's only 99 cents. Why not just make it $1? I mean, why not just make it $1, right, Aaron? I think maybe that's what they're going for. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it as always.
Take care.